Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I wanted to talk about Grand Theft Auto 3 today. It's probably a video that I've wanted to make the most. Just didn't know what I wanted to talk about because there's so many things that I enjoy about this game. So this might end up being a multi-part video over the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure. But I did want to start off by talking about probably the most iconic thing that I remember about this game, even compared to the other Grand Theft Auto games, and that would be just the world itself. So I kind of want to just highlight the fantastic world design of Grand Theft Auto 3 and Liberty City, because I really feel like Liberty City itself is a character in this game. So we're here on Staten Island, and we're down on or up on the northern end of the island. So I just want to kind of show how the landmarks of the city, and even with the smaller world, how they used it to their advantage. Because we all know a lot of games nowadays are obsessed with huge worlds that kind of feel copy-pasted. And without a map or waypoints, we get lost. Because everything looks the same. There's nothing that kind of differentiates the world. So I just kind of wanted to highlight what this game did so well and why it kind of became like a second home when playing it, just because it felt so real at the time. And also the fact that you can come back years later, like myself, and everything, it's still like the back of your hand. You know where everything is, where every road takes you. And the city itself just kind of never leaves your memory. So I want to start here by the stadium. So this is the big stadium, the college stadium, and it's one of the big landmarks of the northern part of the island. So we have this large road that takes us all the way around the island. You can follow it north and south, and it kind of just wraps around the entire island, which is great design, especially for missions, like ambulance missions and vigilante and stuff in particular, when you're wanting to get from one point to the next very quickly. So that itself is just great design. But we have the stadium here, which kind of stands out and just is a good landmark for the northern end of the island. But we also have the college campus, and a little bit further south we have the park. But anyway, we have the hospital up here as another key area of the island. So this whole northern section, you have the construction site, the hospital, and the stadium. And the stadium and the construction site in particular, are visible from long distances. So it's a good visual marker for where you are on the island or where you need to get to on the island. So as we go to the south, I wanted to probably kind of point out one of my absolute favorite design choices in this game, especially how it comes to making the world easy to navigate. So as we work our way south, we have the apartments over there, as well as the parking garage, and it's like the little shopping area. And then over here we have the park. So as we go just south of the park, we have this straight shot across from kind of like a east to west. And this is just fantastic design, especially when it comes to navigating an open world. So we have the Callahan Bridge here, which takes us to Portland Island. And then if we take a right, and then we take another right, here we have the immediate entrance to the drawbridge that takes us over to Shoreside Vale. So there's no confusing layout. There's no difficult to find. If you're in a hurry, you want to get from one island to the other, go straight from Portland over to Shoreside Vale. It's super easy because it's just a straight shot across. Just fantastic design when it comes to helping you get from island to island quickly. There's just a straight shot from bridge to bridge, and of course you can also use the tunnels. So heading south, we kind of go through this area that I always thought of as the little Times Square type area. And again, it's just a big 4-lane road two going north, two going south. Just again, great design. Just helping you get from one point to the next very easily, straight shot. And then once we get here to the southern end of the island, again we have this main road that wraps all the way around. I have a little pedestrian bridge over here that pedestrians actually use in the game, unlike the ones in Grand Theft Auto 5. Just want to note that. And then over here we are back at the casino. And again, there's a little elevation change, and then this is our road that will take us back to the north. And we will follow this around, and we will go and take a trip over to Portland, which I am at the end of the game. This is after completing the final mission. So Portland is a pretty dangerous area at this point, so I'm going to have to be pretty careful when it comes to traveling around it. Again, just the structures in this game and just the varied things to look at. There's not just the same copy-pasted buildings everywhere. There's actually, varied. There's the church, and the big, kind of courthouse-looking buildings that are all they stand out, and you kind of can get their placement in the world. So we'll head over here to Portland, which again is the island that I spent a ton of time on, just because I did not progress the story immediately when I first got the game. Back when I was like 12 years old, it eventually took cheat codes to beat the game. Now the game is much easier now, as an adult, but back then it was pretty challenging, especially with the old Grand Theft Auto 3 aiming system. But anyway, we head over here, and we have the fish factory, and we have the docks. And a lot of missions take place early in the game in the dock area, so it is a very important area of the game, and you can tell just based on how prominent it is, of how big a part of the Portland map it is. So we have the Portland docks. You have an export garage back there, and then we have our grocery store here, and the place that anybody who played this game knows very well, and that is this tunnel here. And all of the rumors that spurred from this tunnel about Darkle, and was he in the game? I remember all the old forums on NeoSeeker and Game FAQs, and people making exploration teams that would go and they would try to find evidence about Darkle in the game, and kind of continued into San Andreas with Bigfoot. But it was just such a fun time on the forums back then, just with everybody coming up with rumors and trying to prove them, or having kind of fake pictures, or going through the game files. Anyway, so we have the junkyard here, which is another area of the game that gets used a bit at the beginning of the story. You kind of crush some cars there and get rid of evidence there. And we have the gas station and the car dealership. Again, that car dealership, another area that a lot of people know, just because that's where you can get the Banshee, the fastest car in the game. At the point of the story where you're in Portland, especially when you're doing the Diablo race. So we have the St. Mark's area back there, which the key part about it are the hills that lead up to Salvatore's mansion. So it's kind of like the elevation changes that lead to it. And over at the docks where we came from, even from this far away, you can see the cranes and stuff that highlight the docks. So all these visual indicators and landmarks, and I just always love that about Grand Theft Auto 3. It's just how each area just kind of feels so unique from the next. So we have Hepburn Heights that leads to the red light district, and again, you go from the little apartment buildings in the little park area, and we come up here to all the clubs and the neon lighting that really makes the red light district stand apart. And then we take a right here, and just like Staten Island had, Portland has a road that is a main kind of artery for the whole island, where it kind of wraps around and takes you from that portion, kind of coming out of St. Mark's and Hepburn Heights, and it will take us up here towards Chinatown, another iconic area of the game. And Chinatown, you can get a reference to it just based because it's right next to the Callahan Bridge, so you always know where Chinatown is if you can locate the Callahan Bridge. And then we have our little wraparound here that will take us back to the docks. And I just always loved how easy to navigate and remember this map is, and the fact that nothing looks the same. So everything, you know, can become its own, you know, even years down the line, its own kind of memory of what it looks like, where it's at, and there's no confusing it. So we have the Chinatown, we have the Punk Noodles, and we always have that little cut across that takes us right over. The little shortcut takes us over to Ammunition, which again, we have the little area over here where you can get the hidden package, and it takes us right back to the red light district. So I just always found that the layout of Portland and all the islands in general is just great. And you have the nice L train, iconic L train that goes around the island as well. Just an island that or location that kind of just sticks with you years later. You can, like I said, you can take years, you know, a break in between and come back, and it's just second nature coming around and where all the areas are. And if you need to go to here for a mission, I don't even have to pull up the map anymore. I can just go straight there. Part of it is just being it's a smaller map, but also the fact that it's a well-designed map, and you can really feel that handcrafted nature of the game. That, you know, is kind of starting to be missed a little bit nowadays. Mainly because so many like to replicate real cities now, which there is some influence of real world cities in this game, but it's not one-to-one or close to it like a lot of them are nowadays, and I think that helps too. It's nice having a more original location or city. So we'll go over to the last island, which is Shoreside Vale, and again you just have that little straight shot across that takes you right from one bridge to the next. Always enjoyed this island, going over to this island back in the day because of the drawbridge. It was always fun to wait till it got up to the highest and jumping across, or trying to race and beat the bridge lifting. So we'll go across here, and again getting back into our landmarks. Once you get to Shoreside Vale, you immediately meet the main area of this game, which is the airport. So each island has like its main focal points. For, you know, Shoreside Vale, it's the airport, it's the, you know, the Colombian cartel, the ritzier area, the little you know, mansion area of the game over there, and then you have the little industrial part of this game. Of this island, with the factories and the warehouses. And then for Portland, you know, it's the Chinatown, the docks, St. Mark's, and for Staunton Island, it's the park, and the northern part with the construction site and the stadium, and then the lower section with the casino. So they do such a great job of having these really important areas or memorable areas for each island, and they're spread out across each island. So we come straight from the airport, and we go through the little industrial area, and we go right here to the dam. And the dam goes from being, you know, a big landmark or a key part of this island for Shoreside Vale, but it's also a great connector over to the second main area of the island, which is the mansion, the little neighborhood, the rich neighborhood that's controlled by the Colombian cartel. And you have two roads that you can take. So we have this one over to the right that kind of takes us down, and that will lead us over towards like Wichita Gardens. But we can also go this way, which kind of takes us up in elevation, and this will take us through Cedar Grove. Not the safest neighborhood. AK-47s apparently are illegal here. So we go around And again, like a lot of areas of the game, there's the roads wrap around, which is nice. There's not a bunch of dead ends. So it wraps around and starts to go down in elevation again, and we'll actually reconnect back to where we were before when we looked and it had that road that took you to Wichita Gardens. Well, this does the same way, so we can come back around and it reconnects back. There's a little shortcut if you want to drive off. There's that area I was talking about, that lower road. And we're now near our safe house, and we're in Wichita Gardens. And let's just go in here real quick and heal up our car so it doesn't blow up on us. Get back in. Always love that about these games. Just instantly repair. So, take this road, and I always like to take this little incline here. Drop down. And this road that I talked about earlier that led down into Wichita Gardens, we can take it now to go right back to the dam. And this will take us right back over to the little industrial area and the airport. Go past the observatory, which is another kind of iconic area of the game and had its fair share of rumors too. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to do a little tour and just highlight just the great world design of this city, and that even though it's a smaller setting, just the fact that it's a handcrafted city, and also, you know, in large point, you know, a fictional city with a little bit of inspiration here and there from real world places, but just the great use of landmarks and design of the roads and things, everything being, you know, simple and leading back and forth and helping with navigation, just is one of those things that kind of is, I guess, underappreciated about it. But anyway, I'll probably follow up with some different areas and different topics about GTA 3. But for now, I just want to do a little quick, or sort of quick video talking about the world itself and Liberty City. But anyway, until next time, see you guys.